So money has been given back to the government. But you don't hear that from the mayor. You just hear the mayor saying he needs more and more money from the government. Everything is somebody else's fault. We hear it every single time. That's all we hear.
Susan Hall makes bold claims about Sadiq Khan during fiery debate. Okay, this just got heated again. It's official. The political showdown between Susan Hall and Sadiq Khan has gone from simmering tension to full-on confrontation. And this time, it happened right in the middle of a live London Assembly session, in front of cameras, reporters, and an audience that couldn't quite believe what they were hearing. Susan Hall, the outspoken Conservative Assembly member and recent mayoral challenger, didn't hold back. She went straight for the mayor's record, accusing Sadiq Khan of what she called failing the people of London on safety, housing, and cost of living. But it wasn't just the words, it was the tone. You could feel the frustration, the sharp edge in her voice, the sense that this wasn't just politics, it was personal. Let's unpack exactly what went down, and why people are still talking about it. It all started during this week's London Assembly meeting, one of those sessions where the mayor faces questions from Assembly members across the political spectrum. The topic on the table: the city's rising crime rates, public transport costs, and the ongoing backlash against the ultra-low emission zone, ULEZ, expansion. Susan Hall came in prepared with papers, stats, and a clear strategy. Press the mayor hard, and don't let him sidestep. She began with a sharp jab about safety, saying, Londoners don't feel safe anymore. Knife crime is up, women feel vulnerable, and people have lost confidence in the Met. What are you actually doing about it? Khan, calm at first, responded with his usual composure, pointing to data showing improvements in specific areas and police reforms under his leadership. But Hall wasn't letting go. She leaned in literally and fired back, you can talk about reports all day long, but real Londoners don't live in reports. They live in fear. And that's on your watch. The room went quiet for a second. And that's when the energy shifted. From that moment, it turned into a genuine back and forth, a clash between two completely different visions of London's future. Hall argued that Khan's leadership has become too focused on PR and not enough on people. Khan defended his record, saying his administration had invested millions in youth programs, public safety, and air quality improvements. But Hall pressed again, this time on ULEZ, the policy that's become one of the most divisive issues in modern London politics. You've taxed the poorest drivers in this city under the banner of clean air, she said. People are losing jobs because they can't afford to upgrade their cars. Do you call that fairness? Khan countered with his now familiar line, it's about saving lives. Every year, thousands of Londoners die prematurely because of air pollution. That's when Hall dropped the line that set social media on fire. Saving lives starts with listening to them first, something you stopped doing a long time ago. The clip was shared thousands of times within hours. Now, let's be clear, Susan Hall has built her political brand around being outspoken, especially when it comes to challenging Khan. Her campaign for mayor earlier this year focused heavily on issues of crime, transport, and what she calls accountability fatigue at City Hall. And for her supporters, this latest clash proved one thing: she's still holding his feet to the fire. One supporter tweeted, say what you want about Susan, but she's fearless. Finally someone saying what Londoners think. But critics weren't impressed. A Labour supporter commented, same talking points, same outrage, no solutions. This isn't leadership, it's theatre. Even some neutral observers said the exchange showed just how polarized London politics has become. Political commentator Lewis Goodall summed it up on social media. This wasn't just an argument about ULEZ or crime. It's about two completely different Londons, one angry, one defensive, both convinced the other is out of touch. And honestly, that's the core of it. Underneath all the soundbites and political sparring lies a deeper story, one about trust, leadership, and whether Londoners still believe in the people running their city. Because Susan Hall's critique didn't just touch policy, it touched emotion. When she said, people feel like they're being left behind, it echoed what millions are quietly thinking. Rising rents, costly commutes, unsafe streets at night. She was channeling that frustration, and Khan, sitting across from her, represented the establishment response, calm, collected, and firm in defending his choices. It was like watching two political forces who live in the same city but in completely different realities. And yet, Khan didn't lose his cool. Even under pressure, he stayed steady, repeating his message, that progress takes time, that London's challenges didn't start with him, and that populist outrage doesn't solve complex problems. At one point, he said, "It's easy to criticize from the sidelines. It's harder to make decisions that actually improve lives." That line measured, but firm, drew applause from his supporters. But for Hall's camp, it was fuel for more criticism. They argued that this was proof Khan had grown disconnected from ordinary Londoners, too polished, too political, too scripted. One journalist wrote, "Khan's greatest strength, his composure, may now be his biggest weakness. Londoners want passion, not press statements." By the end of the session, both had scored their points. Hall walked out energized, surrounded by reporters asking if she was planning to run again. She smiled and said only, "London deserves someone who listens." Khan, leaving a few minutes later, took a different tone. He told the press, "Politics shouldn't be about shouting matches, it should be about solutions. That's what I'll keep focusing on." And that perfectly captured the divide. For some, Susan Hall is a fighter, raw, unfiltered, saying what they wish more politicians would. For others, Sadiq Khan is the steady hand London needs, experienced, cautious, and willing to take the heat for long-term goals. So what does this clash really tell us? It shows that London's political future is far from settled. The next election, the next budget, the next assembly debate, it's all part of a bigger story about who defines what London stands for. Is it the city of bold transformation, or a city tired of endless change? And that's why this latest exchange matters, because beyond the viral clips and headlines, it's a mirror of the mood across Britain right now. Frustration, fatigue, but also hope that someone's still listening. And the question remains, when politics becomes this personal, can real progress still happen?